Welcome to AK Anime Explainer. Today is explanation of Soul Land 3, Legend of the Dragon King Part 180. Without any delay, start explanation. Black One nodded. Yes. The place has a very strict policy. Anyone whose rank 50 and above is not allowed to enter, with no exception. If any of you are in a similar situation, then you may leave. Also, I'd like to remind everyone not to cheat, otherwise, you'll be treating your life as a joke. That place is not for messing around. The energy is not allowed to go below or above a certain level based on the energy strength capacity of the breach in the space. This is calculated based on the tests of the previous generation. Whoever is in the aforementioned two categories, please step out quick. There was no doubt that the Tang sect's Battle Soul Hall fighters were sincere. There was no one else, while the few who had stepped out earlier left in dejection. Even though Tang Wulin did not completely understand the situation at this point, he was entirely interested. It was apparent that this was an opportunity to elevate himself. Black One spoke curtly, the quota is 30 people. However, everyone stands a chance according to the rules before. We will be hosting a trial. The first 30 fighters who are selected can participate in this operation. We'll be dividing you into groups later. The trial will be carried out a month later. We will be departing in about 10 days after the trial has ended. We will be carrying out an identification of your fighter's badge following this. This procedure was performed for every operation in the past to confirm the fighter's identity. Soon, the identity confirmation was completed. Black One spoke, White 3, step out. Tang Wulin was jolted out of his inattention when Black One called him. He hastily walked out from among the crowd to the front. Black One spoke, White 3 displayed the courageous spirit during Operation Green Skeleton. He risked his life to protect his comrades who took part in the operation. In view of his contribution, he will automatically gain a spot as one of the participants in Operation Dragon Valley this time. No one objected, for Tang sect was always fair. Tang sect rewarded those who had rendered great service but punished those who underperformed. It upheld the rules strictly as the basis for reward or punishment. Thank you, Black One, Tang Wulin spoke effusively. Based on Black One's earlier announcement, the Continental Young High-Ranking Soul Masters Elite competition should be over in 40 days. He would have time for the operation by then. The Operation Dragon Valley sounded exciting. He would report to Teacher Wu regarding this and inform him about participating in the mission. Teacher Wu should have been transferred to the worship hall and been informed of the Tang sect's mission. What was the mission about? Black One did not offer any explanation on it. Neither did Tang Wulin have any idea. Moreover, he could not be questioning the others. After all, he is from Doluo continent. He was concerned that if this was a welfare operation, then it would not be relevant to him once he revealed his identity. Likewise, it would be improbable for Teacher Wu, who was also from Doluo continent, to know about Operation Dragon Valley. He would take this mission one step at a time. In any case, it was not anything evil. The Continental Young High-Ranking Soul Masters Elite Competition's individual matches had reached the final 16 into the final 8. Early in the morning, Star Luo Coliseum had been tightly packed with a multitude of spectators. Even the audience who could not enter the Coliseum to watch the matches would stand outside to watch the giant screen instead. They could still experience the electrifying ambience even if it was just to listen to the cheering sounds from the Coliseum. The atmosphere was truly exhilarating, since everyone craves for some excitement in one's life. The competition provided such entertainment to Star Luo Empire's denizens. Tang Wulin, Xie, and Yuan Yehue entered the arena under the army's escort provided by Star Luo Empire's authorities. Yuan, what do you think of the matter that I discussed with you? Xie whispered to Yuan. What matter? Yuan turned her head to look at him. Xie sniggered. If I were to win this match, you'll be my girlfriend. Is that all right? Yuan Yehue retorted, Scram. Xie's face was filled with anguish. That's not nice of you. You ought to give me a chance. Defeating you is a future matter. Considering the competition is in full swing now, can you give me a little motivation? Yuan looked at him and answered drably, "No." Xie Xie nudged Tang Wulin, who was standing on the other side. "Captain, look at her. As a captain, you not going to intervene after seeing how she's treating me?" Tang Wulin spoke repulsively, "Manage it yourself if you're capable. I can't intervene in this matter." Xie Xie grunted. "You don't care about me. Well, I'm going to lose the match." Tang Wulin shrugged. "If you're not afraid of the incensed reception you will get, do as you please." Yuan and Yehui spoke coldly, "I may not agree to the matter which you proposed just now, but if you choose to lose the match intentionally, then I'll guarantee that you won't stand a chance at all in the future." Xie Xie's eyes brightened. He struck immediately. "So, you're saying that if I defeat the enemy, I'll at least stand a chance, yes?" Yuan did not acknowledge him as she turned her head to the other side. Xie Xie sniggered. "I knew it." Tang Wulin slapped his forehead. He wished to ask what Xie Xie knew so much of. But, now was not a good time to rebut him. His enthusiasm to fight was desirable for the competition. The number of contestants in the waiting area was fewer following the preceding matches. There were only 16 spots left now. Dai Yuna was not allowed to enter the area. Monster Academy's contingent had arrived. Long Yu saw Tang Wulin and smiled to him. Dai Yuan's gaze appeared calm as he nodded toward Tang Wulin. Their opponents were acting courteous, so Tang Wulin acted nice too. Similarly, he nodded toward Long Yu and Dai Yuyang. Xie Xie's gaze found his opponent straight away. Lin San was a skinny youth. He was above average in appearance and physique. He appeared unruffled compared to Tung Teng. There was a certain calmness and nimbleness in his behavior. He was the least conspicuous among the 8 heavenly kings. Nonetheless, one would notice that his physical trait was different from everybody else's under close scrutiny. Lin San raised his head and looked toward Xie Xie when he sensed Xie Xie's gaze. His pair of eyes were clear as crystal with no emotion. Xie Xie raised his brows. An intense will to fight surged uncontrollably from his body. Dai Yuyang in turn looked toward Lin San. He could not help smiling. "It seems like your opponent has a recalcitrant attitude toward you." "Power." Lin San spoke flatly. Dai Yuyang spoke in slight frustration, "You're always so curt when you speak. Do you stand to lose by being a bit more communicative?" "Yes." Lin San only managed to utter one word. Lin San was also a legendary figure in Monster Academy. He had an apathetic temperament. He did not have any hobby except for cultivation. He had the weakest natural endowments and martial soul among the 8 heavenly kings. Still, he was ranked 4th. In addition, Su Mu and Dai Yuyang, who were ranked above him, did not think that they could defeat him for certain. Lin San did not care much for the rankings. The 8 heavenly kings ranking was an internal ranking by the academy. In his case, he willingly became one of the 8 heavenly kings in order to receive better cultivation resources just so he could face stronger opponents. Other than that, there was no good reason for him. If Dai Yuyang could use a phrase to describe Lin San, it would be simple. Lin San lived to fight. This was the Wind King Lin San, the most obscure person among the 8 heavenly kings, yet he was a highly appreciated student of Monster Academy. Being diligent made up for any deficiency. Although it may not be an apt description of him, it elucidated his effort and persistence in doing his best. Welcome to the Colosseum to witness the Continental Young High-Ranking Soul Masters Elite Competition's final 16 to final 8 matches. The contestants of the final 8 matches would come from today's matches. They will be among the strongest powerhouses of the younger generation, Fanga's voice echoed in the Colosseum. After this announcement, the whole Colosseum turned its gaze toward the waiting area. The 16 contestants had taken their seats. Their destinies would be awaiting them. The final 10 students from the previous competition not only received generous rewards but special treatment wherever they went in the Empire because of the prestigious achievement on his or her personal record. One would be promoted to a middle-rank officer if one chose to be enlisted. The person would receive hospitable treatment in any clan, sect or profession that he or she chose to join. Concurrently, the person would be knighted by the Empire. Yes, the knighthood. The knighthood award had become more prestigious and prominent over time. There were only two ways one could be knighted in Star Luo Empire. The first was to depend on one's skill and ability to be recognized by the country as in winning such a competition, while the other was to perform meritorious services for the country. Furthermore, the knighthood could not be obtained through inheritance, and there was no exception to that. Hence, the reputation and prestige of being a knight remained great as ever. In this day and age, Star Luo Empire's knighthood no longer followed the feudalist concept of the past. Nevertheless, one could still receive welfare benefits and remuneration from the country. In essence, one could live out the rest of one's life comfortably without having to worry about food and shelter upon receiving a knighthood, even if it was the lowest rank in the knighthood. One could even occupy a lofty position in society. It was a tacit rule of the competition that the final 8 contestants in the individual matches would receive the rank of a baron. If one could become the champion, then one would be designated as the Viscount. After all, one would need to provide a laudable meritorious service in the military to receive such a title of nobility. A Viscount's position in Star Luo Empire was comparable to the mayor of a city. This was why youths were interested to participate in the competition. One could attain the highest level in a single step once the person entered the final 8. One would receive a title of nobility and become royalty no matter where one was from. Even though the position could not be inherited, but one would not be short of income and fringe benefits. The country would take care of all the expenditures as well. Apart from Tang Wulin, Xie Xie, and Yuan and Yehui, together with the other 3 contestants from Monster Academy who were calm, the rest of the 10 contestants who came to participate in the match today were all eager to fight. Of course, their eagerness was based on the premise that their opponents were neither from Shrek Academy nor Monster Academy. The first match today is truly exciting. This would be a confrontation between 2 agility-type soul masters. The contestant Xie Xie from Doluo Continent's Shrek Academy, and also the contestant Lin San with the nickname Wind King from our Monster Academy. Will the 2 contenders please ascend the stage? Lin San stood up with a calm gaze. Tang Wulin and Yuan and Yehui eyed this person who was one of the 8 heavenly kings that they had yet to battle. Lin San had a gentle aura. He was the weakest among the 8 heavenly kings, but when they truly observed him, they could not help but marvel at his appearance. He was a formidable enemy. The thought came simultaneously to both their minds. Lin San's aura had such a gentle ambience that he almost blended into his surroundings. His presence was barely felt at all. As an agility-type soul master, it was apparent that he had attained a fairly high cultivation level to be in such a state. Xie Xie did not look in Lin San's direction. He was just as calm and quiet. His usual mischief seemed to have disappeared at this moment. He took a step forward and walked toward the direction of the stage. Yuan and Yehui looked at the intense Xie Xie. Her gaze shifted slightly. She felt that he had matured. This match was going to be a turning point for him. It did not appear to be difficult when she defeated Ting Ting the other day. In fact, she had devoted all her efforts into fighting. Ting Ting lost to her because she seized his first strike caused by his lack of understanding of her twin martial soul. Ting Ting did not have an opportunity to redeem himself afterward. The Wind King Lin San was more powerful than the Shadow King Ting Ting, so how was Xie Xie going to fare? Was he capable of handling the opponent? Meanwhile, the 2 contenders had ascended the stage. The soul protective shield glowed with radiance. The entire scene fell quiet following that. It was not until this moment that Xie Xie and Lin San eyeballed each other. Xie Xie's gaze was focused as he stood like a statue. Lin San's gaze was calm and his demeanor was like a breeze. It was as if he would disappear at any moment. They had qualities that were distinctly different from one another, yet they were both agility systems. It was apparent that the 2 parties' cultivation paths were completely different. The outcome of this match would ignite the dispute between Monster Academy and Shrek Academy once again. The act of Yuan and Yehui defeating the Shadow King Ting Ting was adequate to demonstrate to Star Luo Empire's denizens that Shrek Academy not only had one Tang Wulin but that the others were equally powerful. Begin the match. The battle of speed officially began following the judge's call. Xie Xie and Lin San moved almost at the same time. They were rushing toward each other. Xie was akin to a sharp arrow that was shooting out at blinding speed. Lin San moved more spontaneously. He flew in a relaxing manner toward Xie. However, any observant person could tell that Lin San's speed was actually faster than Xie's. 3 purple and 2 black soul rings arose from underneath Lin San's feet. He surpassed the 4 purple soul rings of Xie. Lin San's first soul ring shimmered as 2 radiant streams of green were added to his hands. Those were 2 wind blades that were light yet awfully sharp. Each wind blade was over a meter long. The blades in his palms were shaped like crescent moons. Xie held the light dragon dagger tightly in his right hand. His eyes were glistening with cold light. Although it was daytime, his presence felt like a dark night. It was eerily quiet. The distance between them quickly diminished when the 2 soul masters were madly charging head-on into each other. The 2 figures had collided with each other by the time it took to inhale and exhale once. Just when both of them were approaching each other, their shadows turned illusory simultaneously. It was the ghost shadow perplexing track. There was no doubt that it was the ghost shadow perplexing track. The same one. Ding! It was the Wind King who came flying out with the crisp sound. He floated away like a gush of a fresh breeze after the collision. On the other hand, Xie's movement halted for a moment. There was a bloody cut on his left shoulder. "He's so swift," Xie muttered under his breath. It was not the opponent who was at a loss during the collision earlier. When both of them came into contact, he sensed that the opponent was difficult to restrain. Lin San appeared to be blown away from the impact, yet in reality, he had seized the opportunity to launch an attack. The deftness with which he turned his body and the swiftness of his speed caused Xie's chest to tighten. If Xie's reaction had not been fast enough, he would have suffered more than a scratched skin from the attack earlier. Xie bounded upward as he pierced out with the Light Dragon 7 in his hand. His speed was faster than before. However, a ghastly scene emerged. It was as if Lin San's body melted. Xie's Light Dragon 7 shimmered with golden light and appeared to be enshrouding Lin San's body, yet he could not hit the target. The 2 fighters did not invoke other soul skills, but they collided into one another at high speeds repeatedly. It's obvious that the contestant Lin San has the upper hand. Everyone will notice under closer inspection that the contestant Lin San's speed and agility outstrip the contestant Xie's. These 2 qualities are most important to the agility-type soul masters, especially when it comes to speed. The agility-type soul master overcomes the opponent's defense by surpassing the opponent's speed. If the soul master were to lose to the opponent in speed, then he would be suppressed entirely. Based on my observation, there are at least 6 wounds inflicted on the contestant Xie. It may be the wounds are mild, but the contestant Lin San's dominance will increase over a prolonged period. Fang's judgment and commentary were indeed accurate. Xie was facing Lin San's gentle breeze and drizzle attacks right now. It was like a bee attack. Lin San landed multiple hits without any respite. Although they only caused mild injuries on Xie's body, Xie had not retaliated with even a single hit due to Lin San's swift dodging speed. Xie's multiple injuries slowly took its toll as he was surely feeling exhausted. On the other hand, Lin San had not been attacked at all since the fight began. Lin San's fighting method was brilliant. He utilized his speed and agility to overwhelm Xie with his increasing dominance without inflicting any fatal blow. He spent some time to slowly but surely turn his dominance into victory. He was waiting patiently for Xie to give in to the attacks. When Xie began to utilize higher-level soul skills with a distracted mind, it would be Lin San's opportunity to conquer the enemy. The hyperspeed collisions of the 2 combatants made the audience dizzy and confused. All the audience managed to see were 2 shimmering shadows interacting with each other. They could not see that Xie was injured but only discovered the truth about the battle through Fang's commentary. Xie's breathing sounded increasingly ragged. Although the wounds on his body were minor, they still affected his physical condition and fighting ability. There were already a dozen wounds on his body. The wind caught his sliced clothing slightly as he moved. It was definitely not a comfortable sensation to collide at such a speed. His opportunity was getting less if this continued. Lin San's expression had remained stoic all the while. He was calm and tranquil as ever. He did not feel any rush to end the battle. It did not matter to him how long it would take to create the opportunity and seize it. He had used the same battle tactic on Ting Ting, and it worked every single time. Ting Ting had used many different tactics to defeat Lin San when they fought each other, but it was to no avail. Despite the fact that they are both among the 8 heavenly kings, Ting Ting had never won against Lin San. Thus, he admired Lin San highly. He would always address Lin San as Brother San whenever he met him. No one was more hardworking than Lin San among the 8 heavenly kings. The speed and agility possessed by Lin San came from his persistent training. He was the one with the weakest natural endowments, yet he was the most hardworking, persistent and focused among them all. He had been cultivating painstakingly every day in search of his own path. The other 7 kings could never imagine what he had gone through. Even Long Yu's level of diligence was not comparable to Lin San. To be the top agility-type Soul Master in Monster Academy was not a trivial matter. Xie's body flashed as he skimmed past Lin San's side. The wind blade in Lin San's hand swept past gently and left behind a cut on Xie's back. However, Xie did not recoil upon touching the ground. With his feet on solid ground, he stopped moving. One was still while the other was moving. The change was abrupt. He was like a statue upon touching the ground. Meanwhile, Lin San remained moving at high speed. His body glided past at lightning speed, and there was an addition of 3 more cuts on Xie's body in a split second. But Xie remained standing and did not budge at all. He had shut his eyes, which was observed via the zoom-in on the screen. He lifted the Light Dragon 7 in his right hand onto his chest. He appeared to be frozen stiff. A sense of approval flashed past Lin San's eyes. This youth from Shrek Academy with his superior natural endowments was capable of making accurate judgments in such a short period of time. Moreover, he was daring enough to act on his judgment. This was certainly not an easy task for him. This would make Xie more passive. Anyhow, he could only seek an opportunity through this method, as his speed could never be on par with Lin San's. In any case, would it really be that easy to seek for an opportunity? Lin San did not stop. On the contrary, his speed suddenly increased. The speed that he used to suppress Xie was surprisingly not his ultimate speed. The green radiance coiled around. A green tornado appeared next to Xie and wrapped around his body, attacking him repeatedly. Xie waved his light dragon dagger gently to protect himself. He would occasionally make movements, one after another, that appeared as if he was accumulating strength for a takeoff, as if he was about to flare up any time. His momentum was increasing, but at the same time, he was getting more wounds as well. It had only taken a short moment before Xie seemingly turned into a crimson-red statue at a glance. Actually, his whole body was covered in blood. It was not noticed when Yuan and Yehui had sat with her back propped upright. The situation was much worse than imagined. Xie was fully suppressed and did not seem to stand a chance, judging by the looks on their faces. Both contenders had not launched any powerful soul skill nor battle armor, but one had 5 soul rings, which included 2 10,000-year soul rings. Lin San was certainly capable of suppressing Xie with his soul skill, let alone his battle armor. Where was the opportunity in this situation? Ding! A crisp sound suddenly echoed in the competition arena at the moment. Lin San floated backward. A golden radiance was still shimmering on Xie's Light Dragon 7. He had opened his eyes as well. "Thank you." Xie spoke to Lin San. Lin San felt a tug in his heart. He smiled calmly. "There is no need to thank me, this is your power of comprehension." Although he sounded nonchalant, he could not help but feel astonished that he managed to leave so many wounds on his opponent's body within such a short period. All these wounds on Xie's body had not dampened his will to fight. On the contrary, he was being stimulated by the pain to have confidence in his Ghost Shadow Perplexing track. Xie's comprehension of his Ghost Shadow Perplexing track was deeper now. The few great Tang sect techniques could be exchanged with contribution points, But how could a Tang San technique be learned so easily? One could not completely master the technique after learning it. One would continuously need to investigate and experience it in a profound manner in order to utilize the technique's power. Xiexie's comprehension of the ghost shadow perplexing track was elevated by one level when he closed his eyes to sense Lin San's movements earlier. You've proven yourself to be Shrek Academy's student. I was 2 years later than you when I experienced and comprehended this. Lin San did not mind praising his opponent. Still, the expression on his face had not changed one bit, for he remained the calm and tranquil person. An outstanding opponent would give him the challenge. What a waste that Xiexie did not qualify to be his true opponent, so he thought. A powerhouse desired to have everyone he knew to be more powerful than himself. It was only then that the stress he felt would turn into a sense of urgency for him to be more diligent in his pursuit of achieving the ultimate strength. Lin San had always felt that way. He would be happier when Xiexie became stronger. Be careful. A dash of green flashed past Lin San's eyes. The second soul ring on his body shimmered. In the next moment, he was all covered in green. His shadow covered the entire sky in the midst of his figure's shimmer. He was so swift. Xiexie was shocked because Lin San's speed earlier was not his ultimate speed yet. His soul skill could still elevate his speed. He could not sense Lin San's actual position with his eyes and mind at the moment. The wind swirled around his body. He could not detect any regularity to the blowing wind. A stream of green light flashed past and there was an additional cut to Xiexie's body. Not a moment later, the surrounding air exerted a tremendous pressure that suppressed him. Just like a meat-grinding machine. The pressure was caused by the dominance of absolute speed. Xiexie bit on the tip of his tongue as his body suddenly spun on the spot at high speed. The golden dagger circled around his body and transformed into a golden storm. This was his second soul skill, the light dragon storm. Ding, ding, ding. The dense crisp sound echoed continuously. This was generated from the two colliding combatants. There was blood seen indistinctly within the golden storm of Xiexie. It was his own blood. Those cuts from his earlier injuries had begun to affect his fighting capability. All right. Lin San hollered as the surrounding green figures vanished. When the audience could see him once again, he was suspended in midair to everyone's surprise. A person would need to achieve 7 soul ring cultivation base in order to float in the air without using any soul device. Lin San was relying on his soul power to suspend himself in midair. Gushes of green wind gathered together to support him as he appeared to be a part of the wind. Xiexie's body stopped moving. Drops of fresh blood slid down as soon as he stopped. There was a pool of blood on the ground. Admit your defeat. You're not worthy to be my opponent. You can try again 5 years later, Lin San spoke gravely. Xiexie smiled as if the blood was not flowing from his body. Shrek Academy has never before surrendered. Defeat me if you can. Lin San nodded. I understand. Then, let's end it. The green radiance on his body suddenly turned intense. The fourth soul ring on his body shimmered with radiance. A mass of densely packed wind blades appeared around his body. These wind blades were miniature versions of the 2 wind blades that he held in his hands. Hundreds and thousands of wind blades had appeared by his side in the blink of an eye. Spin! Lin San bellowed. Instantaneously, those wind blades spun around his body at high speeds. He was progressively flying higher with his body coiled up in green radiance. He appeared to be a column of flying wind blades aloft in the sky. This was his 10,000-year soul skill, the Wind Dragon Blade. Lin San had made the decision not to continue the match after witnessing Xiexie's power. This was because such an opponent could not contribute to his elevation. There was no need to waste any more time. Xiexie raised his head. He looked at the Wind Dragon Blade that was continuously enlarging and surging skyward. He understood very well that when the Wind Dragon Blade dropped, it would be a thunderclap strike. It was also a strike that could possibly destroy him. Nonetheless, he was not fearful at all. He raised both his hands in front of his body. His right hand was in front while his left hand was behind. A golden light mist arose indistinctly from his body. It was the storing force. As Dai Yuyang sat in the waiting area and watched Xie Xie on the competition stage, he could not help nodding his head in secret. Xie Xie was still capable of concentrating his power as he resisted Lin San's Wind Dragon Blade in an attempt to fight for his last chance. He had proven himself to be a Shrek Academy student through a display of sheer courage. If Xie Xie had also reached 20 years of age, perhaps this would have been a fierce fight between two equally matched forces. Dai Yuyang sighed deeply in his heart when he thought about this. He was even feeling a little ashamed. The fight with Shrek Academy was entirely lopsided. He refused to be involved in this. If he was given a choice, he would have liked to fight against Shrek Academy's students from the same generation and age. Even if he were to lose in the end, he would do so willingly. At least he would have a goal. He was truly unwilling to participate in the bullying of children. The golden radiance started to shape itself into a new form. As the fourth soul ring on his body began to glow, the light took on the form of a dragon. It solidified into a golden dragon and raised its head to look toward the sky. The light dragon 7 in his hand suddenly transformed into a shining stream before it vanished. Xie Xie's golden dragon was different from Tang Wulin's. Its entire body was filled with light. Hence, it was more accurately described as a light dragon. It was his fourth soul skill, the light illusion dragon. Xie Xie's eyes were undergoing a peculiar transformation. His right eye turned a golden color while his left had become translucent like crystal. The light illusion dragon's aura continuously grew while his body was getting increasingly larger as his stored power was released. Lin San did not use the wind dragon blade immediately after it had taken form, but he remained still in midair as if he was waiting for Xie Xie to elevate his combat capabilities to the highest level. Yes, he wanted to face Xie Xie at his strongest. He would have a true sense of achievement if he could actually subdue his opponent during his most powerful attack. Lin San was the most hardworking and the proudest among the 8 heavenly kings. He had not planned to use his battle armor at all during the match. This was because it was truly shameful in his point of view. He would rather lose than use his battle armor when fighting against an opponent who was 5 years younger than himself. The light illusion dragon had finally taken form. It spread out its wings as it looked up to the sky and roared. A thick, intense aura of light seemed to be absorbing the sun's rays until golden flames arose around Xie Xie's body. The contrast against the blood color on his body was somewhat horrifying. Boom! The wind dragon blade dropped down from the sky. It spiraled downward in a conical shape as it descended. The terrifying pressure cracked the ground in a split second and spread outwards from the spot beneath Xie Xie's feet. The light illusion dragon broke away from Xie Xie's body and transformed into a stream of golden light that intercepted the wind dragon blade. The two parties collided in the air and produced a violent explosion. Green and golden light burst out. However, the light illusion dragon was pushed back to the spot near to Xie Xie's head almost in a split second. I told you that you don't stand a chance. Huh. Lin San's voice echoed from the wind dragon blade. Just then, a change suddenly occurred. A phantom-like shadow appeared above the wind dragon blade. Through the wind dragon blade's coil of green light, one could see that there was the vague shape of a giant dragon descending from the sky to join the light illusion dragon's attack. The two enormous dragon spirits advanced in unison, seemingly resonating with each other. The wind blades that formed the light dragon blades disintegrated at a shocking speed. One could already see the indistinct shape of Lin San on the inside. So it turns out that you're very good at biding your time. Lin San spoke in astonishment. Yes, Xie Xie had been waiting for this opportunity since the beginning. He understood very well that he was no match for Lin San's speed after a few collisions earlier. Thus, he released his third soul skill to produce a clone during a momentary pause in the battle. The clone had been hiding by his side all along awaiting the right time. Even when Xie Xie was bathed in blood, he had not allowed the clone to join the battle. Yes, he was waiting for the arrival of this opportune moment. Xie Xie was completely outmatched by Lin San. His only chance was to use his twin martial soul which Lin San did not know about. The Shadow Dragon Dagger was key to turning the tide of battle. Thus, he did not use the Shadow Dragon Dagger earlier in the fight, no matter the difficulty, in order to launch a fatal strike at Lin San with the Light Illusion Dragon at this final moment. The facts proved that his patience had paid off. Even though the Wind Dragon blade was powerful, it rapidly shattered when it was caught off guard and assaulted by the Light Illusion Dragon. Lin San's only choice at this moment was to release his one-word battle armor. Only then could he possibly withstand such an attack. The Wind Dragon blade was gradually smashed into pieces. Lin San's body too started to reform. As the Light Illusion Dragon was about to close up around him, the fifth soul ring on his body shimmered with radiance. Then, to everyone's surprise, his entire body suddenly disintegrated. It was as though he was a gust of wind that dispersed breathlessly. He bore out from a breach during the split second before the Light Illusion Dragon's converging attack. Xie lost track of Lin San's location. Did he run away? Streams of black and white light coiled around Xie's right arm. The two pieces of white battle armor with black striations rapidly covered his right forearm, palm, and shoulder. He had the same amount of battle armor as Tang Wulin, which was the least among their companions. A green light flashed past as Lin San appeared behind his back silently. It was as if Xie had already sensed him earlier. He did not even turn his head around as he threw the Light and Shadow Dragon daggers backwards simultaneously. At the same time, his body split into two shadows that charged at Lin San. There was the addition of another pair of wind blades in Lin San's hands. His speed was still as terrifying as before, but he did not release his one-word battle armor. The match seemed to have returned to the situation before, but only Xie's speed was apparently faster this time. Moreover, with the attack of his two shadows, he was at less of a disadvantage now. Even so, a sharp-eyed person could tell that the outcome of this duel had already been determined. When Xie was unable to use the Light Illusion Dragon's joint attack to utterly defeat Lin San, he had already thrown his card on the table and lost his chance. His two clones were controlled in a magnificent manner. He kept his mind on two things at the same time. Although he could create even more clones, this was the best state for him to exercise control over them. Lin San's expression was much more somber than before. The wind blades in his hands were constantly changing while the soul skills were continuously released from his body. The fight was much more intense than before. Poof! One of Xie's clones was ground into pieces by the Wind Dragon blade. A stream of golden light slashed at him from the front. The twin dragon daggers shielded him, but he was still blown away by the impact. With great effort, he maneuvered to the ground, but he still stumbled for another 7 or 8 steps before he managed to stabilize himself. Fresh blood was pouring out of the wounds covering his entire body. He had already been injured earlier in the match. There was no opportunity for his wounds to heal due to him devoting all his energy to the battle. The ground was stained with his blood. He could not take any more damage due to the severe blood loss. His legs lost their footing as he sat onto the ground. "You're rather impressive." Lin San nodded his head at Xie in all seriousness before he turned around and walked down the stage. A soul master tasked with medical treatment immediately dashed onto the stage to heal Xie. To a soul master, it was not a big problem as long as the blood loss was treated in time. After all, a soul master's bodily processes and blood generation rate always exceeded an ordinary person's. The match lasted for quite a long while, entirely different from the battle between ordinary agility-type soul masters that ended rather quickly. Xie had truly exhausted all of his power, but it was all to no avail against the formidable Lin San. Lin San immersed himself completely into the wind, fusing his attack and defense into his body in addition to the high speed. His speed and soul power had completely overwhelmed Xie. His understanding of the ghost perplexing track was far deeper than Xie's. This video will end here. Like video and subscribe to my channel.